Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, a picturesque city on the Canadian prairies. But the city's first responders are some of the busiest in the country. The men and women of Saskatoon's MD ambulance respond to 30,000 emergency calls per year. These are the stories of the paramedics who race through the streets to answer the call.
You're responding Delta for a single vehicle MPC on the Broadway Bridge. A female patient in her 20s, possibly unconscious. Breathing has been confirmed.
Okay, copy. Okay, we're going to a car crash on the Broadway Bridge. It's a 25 female, not conscious, breathing, vehicle hit the guardrail.
Driving to the call, I'm thinking, what would cause a mid-20s female to crash her car by herself on the bridge?
Right up there where the cops are.
So seeing the car in the position against the concrete barrier on a bridge like that is unusual. As I approach the scene, I find a female who's sprawled across the two seats.
Hey! Hey!
Her feet are in the driver's seat and her head is over on the passenger side.
Go on that side. Just watch the airbags.
When a car is in an accident, the airbags sometimes have a delay up to a minute.
My dear.
If the airbag shoots off, it comes out at about 60 kilometers an hour.
I want you to just hold nice and still, okay? Okay, Brett, can you reach her hips and I'll pull up on her shoulders?
With the patient's position, we have to assume that she has a spinal injury. We don't want to do anything that could make it worse.
I want you to just hold nice and still, okay? Oh, try not to move, try not to move. What happened? What happened, my dear? What happened?
Attempt.
Attempt what?
Hearing that this is a suicide attempt is very concerning. What would be so wrong with this 25-year-old's life that she would try and kill herself?
Okay, do you have any pain anywhere?
My neck and my back.
Your neck and back hurt? Okay, we're gonna get a collar for you right away.
We need to hold her neck and keep her neck in line.
Okay, hold your head still.
And in order to do that, it has to be a team effort to extricate her from the car.
Okay, we're gonna slide you out of the car, okay?
On your count button.
Okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you got hips.
Hold still.
I got
hold
C-spine.
still.
I got C-spine. Okay. Ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3, slide. You. Let's rotate her. On my count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's put her legs flat.
Our first step is to get her to the hospital to make sure that she's not physically injured. Once that component's taken care of, we can get her mental health issues dealt with.
Relax, relax. Breathe slowly. Okay.
This person tonight has attempted to commit suicide
Relax.
by crashing into the guardrail and an attempt to hurt herself.
Pupils are equal. Open your, move your jaw.
So we're not only dealing with their physical well-being,
Your mouth hurt?
we're dealing with their mental well-being.
So tell me how you crashed. I did it. You did it? You drove into the cement railing?
It's really unfortunate that this had to come to this.
Lucky you didn't get really hurt.
No, that was the plan. Don't you understand that?
She's struggling with mental wellness and she's struggling with alcohol.
We're gonna take you to the hospital. Got to get you looked at on the inside, okay? Make sure nothing's broken.
She doesn't appear to have suffered a really serious physical injury, but we're going to need to deal with her mental well-being.
Last night, 5, 6 people in a row.
Yeah.
Everything was like a C-test, like 1 or 2.
Responding Delta for a 53-year-old female, conscious and alert. Some shortness of breath with a COPD history.
53 years old.
That's pretty
Young for COPD, yeah.
COPD is a disease which causes damage and destruction to the lungs. It results in progressively worsening shortness of breath.
Yeah, I think it's right here.
When we walk into this room, the firefighters are already treating this patient. She's hunched over, she's struggling to breathe.
She just took Ativan and 1 milligram Dilaudid. I haven't even got her name. She's really struggling here.
So much that I can't breathe.
Part of our treatment is to calm this patient down.
I want you to stay nice and calm for me. I know you can't breathe. We have some masks with some oxygen coming.
I need fucking air in my feet.
Here, breathe this in. I want you to breathe. There you go. Now we got that medicine. Let's breathe. Let's get a 12-lead too.
I'm gonna put some stickers on you, okay? Take a look at your heart.
We're giving this patient a nebulizer, which is a mask with medication that will help her breathe.
Just take some big breaths.
When was the last time you had some shortness of breath like this?
I'm gradually getting kind of bad in the last year or so.
In the last day?
My prednisone, my Dilaudid, and my inhalers. I've done everything to the T. And it's just my serious COPD. I don't know what it's.
Judy, right now I want you just to focus on your breathing, okay? Just until we can get this under control.
Quit answering me questions there. Oh, no.
Sorry.
What are you doing, baby?
When a patient is anxious, we have to do our best to try and stay calm so we don't escalate the situation.
Oh.
Judy, just cooperate with us. We're just trying to take a picture of your heart.
She's still showing signs of distress. She's still short of breath.
Oxygen is 95%.
Deep breath.
Her oxygen levels are coming up.
Judy, deep breath.
But there's still no sign of improvement.
Why don't we take this off?
No, don't take my oxygen up.
There's nothing. Yeah, this is oxygen.
This is becoming a difficult situation.
There's more in this one.
Yeah, it's on a
No, you
higher.
don't understand.
She's not calming down. She's not showing any signs of improvement.
1, 2, 3.
She needs to be taken to the hospital.
Don't grab onto anything.
COPD is a terrible, progressive disease that really has no cure. These people that have it struggle every single day.
Yeah, times are changing. It's the demand on the paramedic is more than it's ever been.
He's barely breathing, so move fast.
I think medicine has to change to keep up with the changing of times.
Our call volume has significantly increased in the last few years. Do you know what she took?
The types of drugs that people are using has changed.
Trauma alert for approximately a 35-year-old male.
There's new diseases, there's higher call volume.
More violence.
They're more lethal.
There's more trauma.
The amount of stress and mental wellness has really changed for our paramedics.
Base to 1967 calls remaining in Alpha for a 51-year-old female possible psych issue. Be advised that patient could possibly be violent.
Thank you. She's probably off of her pills.
We usually approach psychiatric patients a little bit differently. We're not sure if they could be violent. I don't see anybody outside.
Oh, there was someone on the ground there.
When responding to psychiatric emergencies, there are so many factors that remain an unknown. It could be pre-existing, could be mental illness, it could be induced by drugs or alcohol.
What's going on? Sorry? What's happening? Let's sit up. Let's talk
Did she do any drugs tonight that you know of? No?
Can you sit up?
I'm right here. Deal with these people now.
Can you sit up for us?
Has she been drinking?
Yeah, she had a couple shots of whiskey and she shouldn't have had it.
This patient seems very agitated for only having a couple shots of whiskey. It is possible there's something else going on.
I need you to tell me what's going on. Why you need to go to the hospital. Depression. Do you take any medicine?
Yeah.
It's difficult to obtain accurate information on these calls, so it becomes hard to treat the patient.
We're gonna stand you up and put you on our bed.
Let's lift your head here.
We're unable to calm her down by talking to her, so we're gonna have to sedate her.
You didn't see her take any drugs?
No, I didn't.
None at all. Does she have a history of doing drugs in the past?
Keep your hand in.
Does she ever do like meth or cocaine?
No.
Nothing like that.
No.
What about narcotics or downers?
No.
Guess what?
Okay.
You're in the ambulance. You're not going.
Don't put me.
Okay.
We're gonna check her out a little bit more in the back of the ambulance, and then we'll take her to the hospital. Here. When she's in this kind of a state, she becomes a danger to not only herself, don't pull on that, but to myself and my partner as well. The best thing we can do is give her a little bit of medication to help calm her down on the way to the hospital.
Okay, little poke in your arm. Ow! These calls are always challenging. I feel that we deal with a lot more mental health calls now than we ever did in the past.
Lower her on my goddamn heart, but she's got some issues.
Roll her, 1, 2, 3.
How do I deal with it? I don't. Because I love her.
We'll call her, I'll grab one and
So this lady has some mental health issues diagnosed. I believe she spent some time in a psychiatric facility. Tonight, she's been drinking, doing some unknown drugs, and that's just exacerbated her mental health issues.
It's tragic when people suffer like this. Tom, St. Paul's, we're gonna head out. I'm just thankful she didn't hurt herself or anybody else tonight.
Base to 67, you're responding Delta for a 79-year-old male. He's conscious and alert, complaining of shortness of breath.
This is where the door is. Had to come through there.
This is a messed up spot. Oh, here we go.
So when we first get to this gentleman, we see him through the glass door.
Hello.
When you look at him, his face is sunken, his bones are showing. This gentleman does not look well at all.
What's going on today, sir?
I got pneumonia.
Okay.
Can't breathe that good.
Okay, why don't you grab a seat and I'll grab a quick listen to you. The patient tells us that he's recently had a pneumonia, but the pneumonia is clearly holding on tight. I'm just going to lift up your shirt. How long have you had pneumonia? The amount of difficulty that our patient's having communicating is really signifying how short a breath he really is. I don't hear any congestion or wheezing at all. He's got a saturation of 75. We get a glimpse at his oxygen saturation at 75%. It should be around 95%. I've got that at 6, and I'm just going to vent that.
Breathe.
Because of the difficulty with the patient's speech,
Breathe again.
it's hard for us to assess the current history of the patient.
Did you say you're missing a lung? What?
He tells us that he's a long-time smoker and that he's had part of his lung removed. You couple this with the pneumonia, and no wonder he's having such a hard time breathing.
Okay, let's get you outside.
Still got to do a lot of investigating with this gentleman. It's really difficult to get a history from him because he's having so much trouble speaking in between breaths. Lung sounds are a little bit better now after a neb. No wheezing that we can really hear. He's still quite quiet throughout, but he's really working hard to breathe. We've given him some more medicine and we're going to see how he does. More testing at the hospital once we get there. I've been working with Brett for just over 4 years. He's a very smart medic.
2-3 ABF, and it's big, so we got to keep. So hey, listen, send 2 guys back in here.
Every patient has a story, and that's something that Brett's taught me to never forget.
You're pretty good at that.
The guitar?
Yeah, the guitar and the singing, man. It's pretty good.
Everyone has family, everyone comes from somewhere, and part of being a really good medic is
Okay, I'm just going to check you out, okay?
learning and knowing about your patients.
Hey, there's another call. Let's go.
Base to 67. You're responding Delta for a 24-year-old male. He has a stab wound to the back of the neck. City police are en route.
1967, 10-4.
So when the call comes in to hear stabbing to the neck, I always think, how close is it to the spine? Is this guy going to be paralyzed? How big is the knife? How deep was it put in?
Let's do a really good thorough head to toe and make sure he doesn't have injuries somewhere else.
Sounds good.
With any stabbing, we always assume that the patient has an internal injury.
So here we are.
And that bleeding is a potential.
What's happening?
I just got a laceration to the back of his neck.
Is he bleeding pretty heavy duty?
Just gonna get your jacket off here, okay? We want to take a real quick look at you. We want to make sure there's no other injuries, okay?
Okay, there's just one stab.
Okay, how's your head feel?
Feels right, but my neck feels
Okay, jaw, nothing hurts there? Do you know what happened? Can you tell me?
I think it was gang related, but I dropped my gang stuff, so.
Okay.
Sounds like this gentleman was involved in an altercation. Sounds like it could be possibly gang related.
Sometimes if a patient has one prominent injury,
I'm gonna open up here and take a look at your chest.
they're distracted from any other injuries that they may have.
No holes in your chest?
No.
Pain in your stomach anywhere?
Just the one stab.
Okay, no, nothing in the back. I gotta check everything, okay?
Stab wounds are very hard to assess. We have no idea how deep it goes. It could have nicked an artery, or it could have hit his spinal cord.
Nothing in the back anywhere, Brett. I'm gonna steal those tubes there for a sec. Have a listen to them. Take a big breath. Nice and clear all around ×4. Do you have any numbness, tingling in your fingers?
Absolutely. Well, bring me the
Okay.
light. Bring me your, you got a light too.
Yeah, I got a light right here. Let's have a look.
Put it on.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Could be.
Okay, does that hurt right there?
Yeah, if
I don't know how deep it is, and it's right on his C-spine.
Yeah.
Seeing the location of this stab wound, I'm surprised this guy's standing. If it's right on his spine, he should be dead or paralyzed.
It looks to be C3-4 area.
When I look up, it hurts.
Don't look up, okay?
We're taking every precaution, okay?
It's very important that he stay as still as possible.
Hi, this is Mike. I'm a paramedic with MD Ambulance. Just letting you guys know, we are on scene right now with a 24-year-old with a stab wound at the back of his neck. It looks to be about 1.5 to 2 inches wide, but it's right on his C-spine.
Okay, so this is just a reminder for you to keep your head nice and still, okay?
Just sit right back. Just sit back. Try to keep your head still. We're gonna turn you, and we're gonna lay you flat on the
Yeah, I got you.
Here, bring your arms. Bring your arms into your belly.
We got you.
We're gonna. They're just gonna spin you on Mike's kill.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Good man. Just like that. You okay? We're gonna take you to the University Hospital, okay? And they're gonna go over everything that's occurred. We're not asking for names, they're just asking for what happened and why, the reason for the stabbing and how it occurred.
I kicked him in the leg, and then I grabbed him.
Yeah.
And then I think he tried to grab me, and then I felt a really weird feeling in my neck, and I knew right then and there that he stabbed me.
Given what happened to him, the fact that he is still standing and breathing shows an immense amount of luck.
Hey, can you hear me? I want you to just hold nice and still, okay?
On the call with the young lady who made this suicide attempt on the bridge,
Yep, 1, 2, 3, slide.
She wants to share her story to raise awareness. She's doing much better now and getting help.
Right now, I want you just to focus on your breathing, okay?
The COPD patient we treated earlier in the night
Why don't we take this off?
No, don't say fast enough.
was transported to hospital. She was admitted and remained in hospital for over a month.
What's going on today, sir?
So the elderly gentleman we saw earlier this evening in the apartment building with the pneumonia,
Did you see him missing a lung? It was discovered that his pneumonia had caused an infection in his esophagus that kept him from eating. He spent 41 days in the hospital, and he's recovering and doing much better now.
What's happening?
On the psychiatric emergency call from earlier in the night, this patient was transported to the hospital. She was assessed, observed, and later released.
Let's have a look.
the gentleman we responded to at the end of the night with a stab wound to the neck was transported to the hospital.
1, 2, 3.
He's very fortunate. Imaging showed that the blade missed his spinal cord by millimeters. He walked out of the hospital later that night.